Welcome to the Change Life Destiny podcast, where healthcare is being reimagined one conversation at a time. We spotlight the people, innovations, and ideas moving us from sick care to self-care and from reactivity to true prevention. A place to connect, learn, and build a new future together. Get inspired at changelifedestiny.com. Let's dive in. Welcome back to the Change Life podcast series. This is Stephanie, your host, and today I am here with Cherie Calbom, the Juice Lady, and we're very excited to learn more about her offerings and what she is all about. So Cherie, thank you so very much for being here on our podcast today.
Thank you for your invitation. I am very excited to talk about juicing and health.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So why don't you share a little bit about yourself and how you found your way to this space of juice in your life?
Yes. And what it did for me and what it's done for so many people. In my 20s, I was very sick. I had chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia and had to quit work and sleep and feel sick, feel like I had the flu all the time and swollen glands and ached all over and a low grade fever, and no one could help me. And that's the story of a lot of people today, have things like that, and no one can help them in the
Absolutely.
conventional medical space.
Mhm.
And back then, the only thing I knew to do was to go to some health food stores and talk with people there. And I learned that my diet was all wrong. I loved junk food and fast food. I hated vegetables. I was addicted to sugar. No wonder I was sick. It just hit me earlier than probably does a lot of people. But I learned about juicing, went on a 5-day vegetable juice fast. On day 5, my body expelled a tumor this size, the size of a golf ball. With
Whoa, I love that. I love that. I love that. Go ahead.
Looked like somebody cut them with scissors. Something had. I call it nature's scissors or God's scissors, like fisetin, apigenin, luteolin, phytonutrients in vegetables that cut off angiogenesis. That is the growth of blood vessels to tumors to feed it. And I saw before my very eyes a representation of that. But I had no degrees then. I didn't know what was going on. I was just flabbergasted. But my mother died of breast cancer when I was 6 years old. And I thought, oh my goodness, I was following in her footsteps. Look at this.
Wow.
And so I thought, tomorrow I'll just wake up well because I got rid of this thing. And that's pretty much how the West sees things. You do this and you cure yourself and you go on with life. I didn't wake up well the next day. I was on a journey, and it was a journey of healing, detoxification, renewal, replenishing my cells. And it took me about 3 months. I kept juicing and ate a plant-based diet for the rest of that summer. And one day I woke up and thought, I think I got a new body last night. I felt like jogging. I felt fabulous. And that's when it dawned on me that it took me a few days or weeks for it to dawn on me that this had to be a way of life. I went back to Southern California, my friends, and thought, I'm cured. I can go back to life. And the cheeseburgers and the fries and the pizza, and I could not do that. I started getting my symptoms back, and it really scared me. And once you taste health, you never want to lose it. And I had to design my own program and my own recipes and my own way, because there wasn't very much then. And that's probably why I've written 36 books. They've sold over 3 million copies, gone all over the world. My Juicing for Life book, which has 50 different ailments in it, has gone into 23 languages and sold over 2 million copies, because there are people just really desperate for answers, things they can do. What can you do to start right now at home? In fact, whenever I speak to audiences, and I have spoken all over the world, even to the royal family and the royal ladies and ambassadors' wives of the UAE, they were all very interested. But whenever I've spoken, people say, thanks, because you've given me some tools. I can go right now. I can either dust off my old juicer or get a juicer. I can go get some produce. I can start doing something. And that gives so many people so much hope. So when I realized that this was a very powerful tool of medicine, it was like the natural medicine, the medicine that we've been given for the healing of our bodies. I went back to school and got my Master of Science in Nutrition from Bastyr University, and I have been teaching people ever since how to juice and heal with diet.
Oh, I love that. I love that so very much. I love that you have this story. Yes, I've recorded a lot of podcasts for Change Life Destiny, and I will say that I very rarely come across someone who doesn't have a story that starts with them, that starts with their own personal journey of something that they were just curious about. So, gosh darn it, it's fantastic that you're just so curious about what you can do and taking your life into your own hands. I think that in your health into your own hands, that's so important. And that's something that, of course, our mission is all about. That's wonderful. Okay, so talk a little bit more about once you got your master's and how is it that you're helping people? What was your first step?
Yes. So my first step, I became the juice lady with the Juice Man Company. That was Trillium at the time. And they were doing huge seminars all across the nation. I was still a student. And I wrote the little booklet that went in the juicer. But I said, hey, I've got a story and I've got an undergrad degree in speech communications and I could do these seminars too. They were running the big infomercials then. I don't know if anybody remembers the guy with the big white eyebrows. And he was before Jack LaLanne. And so they said, okay, we'll give you a chance. And they sent me out on the weekend to an audience of 1,000 people. And I sold a lot of juicers. And I sold by
Ah,
telling my story and speaking from my heart. And that's what I found is the key. When you speak from your heart, people know it's true. They
yeah.
know you're telling them the truth. And that led to an incredible, amazing career. I was in several of the infomercials and kept doing those seminars, huge seminars all around the country. And then that company sold to Salton. And I went along with the deal, and they were the manufacturers of the George Foreman grill. That grill rolled out in 96 in Las Vegas when I was with them at the gourmet product show. And I looked at that and said, hey, I know that George isn't going to appear on all those QVC appearances and he's not going to show up at Macy's for the demos. I can do that. And so I made a proposal to George and the company. Maybe George would like to have me as his nutritionist and the other spokesperson for the grills. And they said yes to everything. And I did become his nutritionist. And I did start showing up on QVC to grill and talk about fats and oils and the whole scenario. And I was on QVC with those grills for 13 years and appeared in the first three infomercials with George Foreman. And that was one of the biggest products that ever hit our nation. And it was a wonderful product. The grease all dripped away and we could talk about clean animal products. And George loved nutrition and we always grilled vegetables on the side. And that spun into my latest book, which I've studied and studied fats and oils. And I just completed The Truth About Seed Oils.
Oh, that is huge for our audience.
It's a hot topic right now.
Mhm.
So many people are asking questions. So many people are getting their information about seed oils on Instagram or TikTok, and it's 60 seconds to 90 seconds. And what can you learn in sound bites like that? You can learn a little bit, and I do that myself, but you can't learn a whole lot of what are the really toxic oils? What are the good oils? What are the ones that feed the brain? What are the ones that help prevent Alzheimer's? The
Mm,
whole cholesterol lipid hypothesis. This is a huge topic, but it is a hot topic.
mhm.
And smart fats for brain health is one of the presentations that I do because nobody wants to lose their mind. Nobody
Nobody
wants
does.
Alzheimer's or
No.
dementia. So they want to know how to prevent it or how to begin to heal. If there are those tau tangles in the brain that are starting to form, can you reverse that? Yes, you can, because those contribute to Alzheimer's. But with the
Mhm.
right fats, the right diet, you can begin to turn that around.
Certainly. Oh, and that's near and dear to my heart for sure, because there are so many that are affected at this moment with those particular diseases. And the more that we know, the more that we know. So I love that. Can you, and I really do want to read your book. Is it available on audio yet?
It is on audio and Amazon's got it. It
Okay.
came out on audio right in the beginning. It's been out just
Okay.
a few months, but it came
Okay.
out with the book. Yeah. So
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Amazon has got, and it's again for everybody listening that said, what was that? The truth about seed oils.
Perfect. That's perfect. Thank you so much. Okay. So let's talk a little bit because we can understand, I think our listeners and myself, we can understand the importance of diet, and what we are putting in is part and parcel of what we output when it comes to energy and it comes to just overall health and well being. Can you speak to some of your favorite changes, your favorite stories of change, things that you have noticed in your particular client base that have helped you to see along the way, maybe some of these pinpoints of where you go, yep, I'm doing something right. Oh, there's another one. I'm doing something right. Or maybe something that helped you to change your course through this journey.
Oh, I love to tell stories because everybody loves stories.
Yeah.
So I've got some stories of people whose lives totally, completely changed. We had one lady that came to our retreat. We do health and wellness retreats. My husband and I, we make a whole brain together. He does the psychological and the spiritual, and I do the nutritional and the detox. And a lady came with a diagnosis of heart disease.
Mm,
What am I trying to say? Heart
mm,
disease. And she was hoping for help, hoping to turn things around. And we had a 5-day retreat. 2 of those days were juice fasting. In the middle, she felt better toward the end of the week, got home, finally got in to see her cardiologist. And he said, "Wow, you're my new model patient. What did you do?" She had turned her whole situation around in 5 days.
whoa.
Stuck with the program. Of course, our program was no seed oils way back before that was a popular movement. And it was a lot of juices and raw organic foods, lots and lots of salads and vegetables and dehydrated crackers made with seeds. So that was our program. She stuck and modified it, but stuck with the program. I heard from her recently. She's 83. She is so cute. Nothing ever came back. She is free and healthy.
Wow.
And I thought, okay, we need a cardiology nutrition program because we have been sold a bill of goods. We have been told to eat a low cholesterol diet. And they
Mhm,
found in 2015 with all the studies, dietary cholesterol has nothing to do with a blood measurement. Cholesterol, nothing.
mhm.
And then we found all the other studies that have measured those that die of heart disease with low cholesterol are about the same amount as those with high cholesterol. And so those studies have all concluded cholesterol has nothing to do with it. But
Right.
what has something to do with it? Inflammation. What
Mhm.
contributes big time to inflammation? Seed oil, sugar, smoking, and all of the chemicals that they put in processed foods. Those are the things that are causing irritations in the arteries. And that's why the plaque forms. One
Mm,
cardiologist that I quote in our book says that cholesterol would just float right on through those arteries if it wasn't for the irritations that trap it
mm,
or cause it to deposit there. And so we must eat an anti-inflammatory diet. We must have the good oils and all of the things that help to prevent, but we must have good measurements like histamine,
mhm.
CRP, LPA are great measurements for are you inflamed? Most people, it is said in Western culture, have low grade inflammation. And
Mhm.
so we have to work on lowering that to prevent heart disease and cancer and diabetes and metabolic issues and obesity, and on it goes.
I have to say, I couldn't agree more. And I heard a naturopath talk about cholesterol in this way, and it just was such an amazing visual that I want to share it with you and our listeners. So she said that you don't pull up to a house fire and blame the fire truck because you see a fire truck at every single fire, right? So she was equating cholesterol to the fire truck. The fire truck is actually there in some cases to help the inflammation, or like you said, it gets stuck in the inflammation, but it
Mhm.
is not the cause of the issue. The inflammation is the cause of the issue. And so I loved that. I was like, our cholesterol is not a fire truck. I get it. Or it's not the problem. That's so wonderful. Okay. So she is just living her life in the 80s. That's awesome. Tell me some other stories.
I worked with one young woman who had MS, wanted to see what she could do naturally to turn that whole situation around. And we got her turned around where she was pretty much symptom free. One day, a relative came by and said, "You've got to try this special wine. It's so delicious." No, it's not on my to-do list. It's not on my
Mhm.
choice list. And I don't want any. And he talked her into it. And a few hours later, she felt really crummy and some of her symptoms were coming back. And of course, she didn't do that again. And she got rid of them again. But she said to me, her new motto for life is nothing on earth tastes as good health.
That's brilliant. Yes, and very true. Wonderful. Okay, so because you mentioned cognition earlier, do you
Mhm.
have any stories of people that have found help with their cognitive health
Yes.
through juicing and good eating?
Yes, I have. I have a couple of stories. This one is the most dramatic. When my book Juicing for Life came out, I had a lady contact me and she said she was a caregiver for Alzheimer's patients primarily. She took grocery shopping, she took food to their home, she helped them around the house and so forth. And she had one lady that was not doing well at all. And
Mhm.
she thought, okay, Mrs. just drinks anything I give her and eats anything I give her. And I'm going to do an experiment and see if we can turn anything around by giving her lots of vegetable juices, primarily and particularly green juices. One day she was walking up the sidewalk and a neighbor came running over and said, "What are you doing for Mrs.?" I had a normal conversation with her today. Lady got better and better.
Wow.
Then
Wow.
I had a relative that worked at a car dealership, and the owner started getting Alzheimer's. He got
Mm.
on the juicing program and got rid of it. Turned it all around. Do you know
Man.
what they're showing that turns around? The green juices are amazing. I talk about green juices for biohacking for brain
Mhm.
health
Mhm.
and anti-inflammatory and all of that.
Mhm.
But there's also green tea, and it has been shown in scientific studies to address the tau tangles I talked about earlier.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is important too. And then getting the good fats. We're so imbalanced. We've
Mhm.
got way too much omega 6, like about 20 or 30 to 1. I've heard some people tested, they were even up that high to 1 omega 3. We should be no more than 4 omega 6,
Mhm.
1 omega 3. We need to up our omega 3s. And so getting those good oils in your diet, like flaxseed oil, hemp seed oil, walnut oil,
Mm.
and more walnuts. And you can even make homemade walnut milk. But here's something else I thought was so interesting. Two new studies this year came out. 2026, they should have been the evening news. I don't think anybody heard about it. It was the Loma Linda University study and the Seventh day Adventist study, finding that eggs, those that ate one day a week for 5 days, whole eggs, that's the yolk and the white. We were
Mhm.
told no yolks, throw them all away. No, we want the whole thing. Had 27% less Alzheimer's than those that didn't eat hardly any eggs, like 1 to 3 a month. And then
Hmm.
with Alzheimer's patients, that those that didn't eat any eggs at all had 32% higher incidence of Alzheimer's.
Wow.
So the diet is huge, and we
Mhm.
want those omega 3s in there. And of course, the fatty cold water fish, everybody's heard about that, like the salmon and the mackerel and the sardines and the trout. So we want some of that. And there are a lot of people who say, I don't like fish. Find some ways to get them. Find the walnuts and the flax seeds, grind them up, or the hemp seeds, or the oil of those seeds, but up your omega 3s and
Yeah.
decrease your omega 6s. And let's name what those toxic oils are. It is
Yes.
soy, corn, canola, which is rapeseed, safflower, sunflower, grapeseed oil. We were told for years that was one of the healthiest oils, and
Yeah.
peanut oil, rice bran oil, and cottonseed oil. Those are the ones to get out of your pantry, out of your diet, read labels, and don't buy products with them in there. And that's a challenge right now. But
Mhm.
more and more
Yeah.
people are going to avocado and olive oil for
Yeah. Yeah,
chips and
okay, good,
popcorn.
good. So avocado oil is not considered a seed oil?
No, it's a fruit oil. So
Okay,
olive, avocado, and coconut are your fruit oils, and those are your good ones. And those
okay,
are the ones you want to cook with. You can also, there's one seed oil, and you can have a little bit of sesame seed oil if it's cold pressed or expeller pressed. And I don't think there's any other kind of sesame seed oil because people use it in small quantities for more
sure,
Asian flavor. And
sure.
then ghee, some people call it oil of butter or clarified butter, but that's a good one too. So those are your 5 choices, and those are the only ones you want to use.
So, you guys, this is gold. Now, let me go back to eggs for a minute because the same person that told me about cholesterol in the same conversation was talking about eggs and how the best way to consume an egg with the nutritional value, if you're considering, okay, you can have anything from a hard boiled egg to a runny egg,
Yeah.
and that you've got the nutritional value of that yolk and how to contain the best nutrition of that yolk is to eat them runny.
Yes. That is
So that
true.
okay, yay I learned it.
Yeah,
Okay, fantastic.
it is
Because
true.
it's not denaturing
Mhm.
the nutritional value of that yolk. So you guys get used to the runny eggs. I'm telling you,
Soft
it's
boiled,
better for your
over
brain,
easy.
right?
Yeah, over
Yeah, and they are
easy.
easy. Right,
Yeah.
right, absolutely. Oh,
But
that's
cook the
fantastic.
white. Always cook the white because you don't
Yes,
want white binds you've got biotin though in the yolk, but you always wanna cook your white. But you can have and do have the runny yolks. The
yes,
sunny side up or over easy or the soft boiled are your best choices.
there you go.
But if you're saying, "Gosh, I'm off to work or here or there and I just want a hard boiled egg," hey, go ahead. Don't worry about it. Take it with
Right.
you. Have a
Right.
little
Oh, I
snack.
eat those all the time because they're easy to take with me. So I
Mhm.
get that. Okay. I have a very specific, and this is more of a personal question because I have been very interested in juicing for a very long time. But what is your suggestion? Because I'm not really certain personally which machine to get so that I'm not wasting so much product
Right.
when you expel the juice. So what's your suggestion there?
My favorite, and I've tried everything, believe me,
Mhm.
trust me, Nama J2. It is a two-chamber juicer. The top chamber is where you put your produce. You don't have to cut it in little teeny pieces, just enough to fit it in. Close the lid, turn it on, walk away. It juices for you. You don't have to stand there and go like this
Wow.
for 10 minutes, 5 minutes,
Okay.
whatever. You just walk away, clean up your kitchen, make breakfast, whatever you want to do. It juices for you. And the cleanup is easy and it's a quieter juicer than any of them I've used before. And I love it. I used it this morning and I'll use it again I'm going to make something after we're done talking, but I use it every day and the cleanup is so easy. It's about a minute. So for you and for everyone listening, let me give you an exclusive discount code where
Oh,
you get $60 off. So that's Juice Lady. So simple. One word, Juice Lady, JUICELADY. And it's Nama, NAM, Mary A, J like John too.
okay, wonderful.
You love it.
Um, I was gifted we are calling her Dirty Gertie, but she's an indoor composter. And
Oh.
so that's something that now I feel like, okay, I can take whatever is left over, put her in Gertie, and then start the process all over. And pretty soon I'm just going to have a whole ecosystem in my house.
You are, and then you'll have organic sprouts and vegetables and herbs or whatever you wanna grow.
Exactly, exactly. This is fascinating. Okay, so the last question that I have is for you is because we will be posting in the show notes, we will be linking to where people can find you. And specifically, if you have any of these retreats that are coming up or anything where if people have questions that they can get in touch with you. But before we get to that point, I want to find out what your vision is of the future of healthcare. I think I can guess, but what is your vision especially when it comes to prevention of disease or addressing root causes?
I love the new field, DNA and epigenetic testing, where
Mm,
you can determine propensity toward disease that may be coming down the road and correct it, where you can find out, is your immune system deficient? Are you inflamed? Different inflammatory markers, on and on it goes. How about brain health, gut health? And where are you deficient? Where are there excesses? And you can start right now. I love to work with that kind of diagnostic revelation
mhm.
because then you know exactly where to zero in. Here are the supplements that could really benefit from you. Here's the diet that could really benefit you. Here's maybe some stuff that you thought was good, but you need to cut that out. And here's something to add in that maybe
Mm,
you never even thought about eating or
mm,
drinking.
mm.
So I love that. I believe that is the wave of the future. That's where true medicine should be going. We're stuck back in crisis medicine. Wait till people break down. And by then, can you save them or not? No one knows. How bad off are they? That's the question. We need to do the preventative work now and really help people prevent going there. So, listen, if somebody's listening, I can help you connect to that kind of testing. Just email me, Cherie at juiceladysherry.com,
I love that.
Cherie. And
I
I'll
love
help
that.
you. I'll help you get started and I'll help consult to get you on the right path. And you can connect with me on my website, Juice Lady Info, or Juice Lady Cherie, Cherie.com.
There you go, guys. Just
Thanks for
rewind and slow it down if you need to spell that out. She gave it all to you right there of how to get in touch with her. And Cherie, I think that, again, a lot of what I'm seeing as a through line of the people that I am so blessed to talk to on this podcast is that curiosity. So thank you for being curious. Thank you for keeping that as what I see as a core benefit of the work that you're doing is the curiosity, not only in what other things can potentially help and move the needle for people,
Mhm.
but that curiosity of what is it that is causing folks to feel so bad. So thank you for being available for folks and for being available for us today. I so appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. What a pleasure to be part of your show. It was a great show and great questions. Thank
Oh,
you.
thanks. Thanks. Wonderful. You guys have a great day. We'll see you next time. That's a wrap for today's episode of the Change Life Destiny podcast. If you loved what you heard, share it with a friend and follow us for more bold conversations and breakthrough ideas. Ready to take the next step? Visit changelifedestiny.com to join the movement. See you next time and keep diving in, learning, and leading the change.